Now, playing retro consoles is awesome, but what's even more awesome is being able to play them with modern technology. Hey, what's up everyone, GameDad here, and today I am going to be doing a comparison between three of the most popular options for playing a GameCube on a modern screen in HD. I'm going to be looking at what I believe was the original option for HDMI for the GameCube, which is the EonHD, which is a nice little adapter, plugs right into the back. I'm going to be looking at the PrismHD, which is also an HDMI solution that plugs into the back, and this one actually comes from Retrobit. And then I'm also going to be taking a look at the newest thing from Retrobit, which is the PrismComponent cables. Now, it may shock you to find out which of these I personally think is the best, but you got to wait until the end of the video to find out. Now, before we dive in, if you are new to the channel or you just haven't yet, then please be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, as well as that little notification bell. That way you can alert every time I've got a new video coming out. Now, let's go ahead and dive in and check out some gameplay with comparison of each of these different devices. Alright, so here we have Mario Kart Double Dash, and as you can see, I have everything up on the screen, and what I'll say is none of these look bad. I mean, if you go regular AV cable, it is significantly worse than any kind of HD solution you're going to get, but something that I very quickly noticed when grabbing footage, and something that I will show you over the course of these next few games, is that the HDMI solutions, in my opinion, they look, I don't know, it's hard to describe. They look a little fuzzy, while the component actually looks a little more crisp, and it looks like it has better lines to it. Now, what I will say is that with the HDMI solutions, there is definitely, more of a sharpness to the lines versus regular AV cables, but those also have an associated cost with them that is hard to stomach, even though they have an ease of use. And as you'll see with the majority of this footage, the Eon adapter, which was the first solution that I'm aware of that actually allowed for HDMI from the GameCube, is also the most expensive one, but also, in my opinion at least, actually looks the worst out of all of these solutions. Now, here we have Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, and this one really stood out to me, and I thought that the component cables really popped a lot more on the screen than the EonHD or the PrismHD. Now, again, continuing with the theme of the last game, I really do think, in my opinion, that the PrismHD is a better HDMI solution, but there's something about the component cables that really just makes everything pop and look a lot nicer, in my opinion. Now, here we have Prince of Persia: The Two Thrones, and I will preface this by saying that this game, for whatever artistic effect they wanted, it always has this kind of like halo-y blur around it, and that is by design apparently in the game, and that's like the effect and the dramatics that they add to it. But with that being said, I will say that in this one, in my opinion, the PrismHD actually looks better than the component cables or than the EonHD. And I don't know if it's just because of the like odd effect choice that they have, but I thought the PrismHD actually looked better in this one. And here we have Star Wars Rebel Strike. Now, I will say, I thought all three options looked really good, and it was really hard to find anything other than minor differences between the three different solutions. But again, I don't know if it's just something in the way that the component cable processes the video stream versus HDMI and whatever conversions are going on right there, but I think this game really pops with the component cables. Even though all three solutions, they do look good, it's just those component cables, man, they really make this game pop, and it looks really nice when playing it. Alright, now here we have Super Mario Sunshine, and this is the one game that I did test and footage and all that stuff with, that this had the clearest indication of which one was better. I mean, it's no surprise, it's the component cables again, but the Eon adapter, I'm sorry, it did not look good at all in my opinion. It actually looked like it blurred things, and that was no fun to play. The PrismHD adapter, that one did okay, still not that great in my opinion, but holy cow, the component cables. And again, I think it's just because of the coloring and stuff like that, but it made this game look absolutely phenomenal. Like, I couldn't believe it. It looked like a game that would come out now. and versus a game from, 20 years ago, which is when this actually came out. And here we have Super Smash Bros. Melee, where opposite of Mario Sunshine, this is actually the game where I noticed the least amount of difference between the three solutions. I mean, they all look better than stock AV cables, but I really couldn't tell that much of a difference. I mean, the colors popped a little bit more with the component cables, as is the case with all of these games that I tested, but overall, I mean, maybe it's just because, in my opinion, it hasn't aged that well, and we have, Smash Ultimate and stuff where everything has just been cleaned up so much, but I don't know. This one, it didn't really do it for me and was hard to find a dramatic difference between any of the solutions. Now, here we have Wario World, and between the two HDMI solutions, I honestly thought that the Eon adapter looked a lot better than the Prism adapter in this one. I don't know, it just stood out to me more, but as is the trend with all of these, the component cables take the top slot again because the colors are just so much more crisp and the lines just look so much smoother. They don't look like they have jagged edges to create artificially sharp edges. They look like they flow and smooth really nicely, and I'm blown away by these cables. And in my opinion, again, with Wario World, the component cables definitely take the lead here. So there you have it, everyone. That is a comparison of several different games using all three of these methods of, HD to be able to output to a modern screen. And honestly, I gotta say, and I hope it was as clear to you as it was to me, but it wasn't even the HDMI solutions that were the best. Honestly, it was the component cables. Like, to me, in my opinion, it was night and day. Sure, the HDMI solutions are convenient. Sure, they're nice. Those component cables, though, they looked absolutely amazing. Now, that is something to take into consideration, though. HDMI is really easy to use because basically everything has an HDMI port on it nowadays. Component, not so much. There are definitely TVs and stuff that still have them. There are solutions to be able to do that, and sometimes they're cheap, sometimes they're pricey. You could get something like a little adapter off of Amazon, or you could go, crazy with it and get something like a RetroTink 5X, which will cost you a crap ton of money compared to an Amazon solution. But if your TV doesn't have a component setup on the back, then that's something you would need to get, and you would need to take that into consideration whenever you are looking for an option like this. The other thing to keep in mind with any of these solutions is that you actually need a specific kind of GameCube, and that is the one that has the AV multi-out on it, because all of these use that connection on there. So, what's my recommendation? Well, if you just want ease of use, go with an HDMI solution. But remember, they are going to be significantly more expensive, but they will be a lot easier to get connected. Now, in my opinion, if you want the best quality, and especially if your TV has the capability, get these component cables because they cost nowhere near what everything else costs. And honestly, like compared to the original component cables for the GameCube, these are a fraction of the cost. Now, if you are interested in picking up any of these solutions, I will have links down in the description below. That way you can check them out for yourself and make that decision for yourself. I would love to see down in the comments below, though, what you thought the best quality was. In my opinion, as I've said, it is the component cables. The HDMI solutions are nice, but I really like those component cables. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought was the best one. And while you're down there, please be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, as well as that little notification bell. That way you can alert every time I got a new video coming out. Also, if you like what I do here and you are interested in helping to support the channel each and every month, then head on over to patreon.com/GameDadShow, where for as little as $1 a month, you get early ad-free access to all of my videos, including getting your name in the end credits of every single one of my videos, like the fine folks that you see above right now. Now, as always, I'm GameDad. I thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you later.